Hello and welcome to episode 9 of season 2 of the Role Models podcast, filmed at Authentic Collectables HQ in Perth, Western Australia. And for once, William Hall, we are in Perth, Western Australia.
This feels very odd.
It does. It does. We haven't actually done a proper Role Models for months.
And I feel like we're so out of practice and we've been both so busy with everything post-Bathurst that this one will still feel a bit kind of
I think so,
not quite well rehearsed.
But to recap, we did one at the Diecast Model Expo in Melbourne.
We did.
Which
We threw straight in
unfortunately the audio quality let us down a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Which is a shame 'cause it was fun. It was like a live show, but there were some lucky people that were sitting in the room that got to see us do that. So thank you to those.
Well,
I'm sure there'll be some listeners out there.
They got to see us do it. I'm not entirely sure they got to hear us either. But anyway,
Well,
we live and learn with all of this sort of
we'll
stuff.
have another crack at that next time
We will
around.
do a
I
proper
think.
job.
And then we did another one at Reckless Brewing, our friends at Reckless.
Our friends at Reckless.
In the lead up to the Bathurst 1000, which again feels like it was approximately 17 years ago.
Man, hasn't a lot happened between that Wednesday afternoon and
now.
today?
Yeah, it was a week and a half
Man.
ago, and it does not feel like a week and a half ago.
Good
So
Lord.
we've been on the road, but we're back to do a proper one, which means we can do a code word competition winner. Now, we weren't quite organised enough to have that sorted as we sat down to record this. So flashing up on the screen right now is the winner
Just here.
of the $250 Authentic Collectables gift certificate. And
Was a quirk of nature.
yes,
I think quirk was it quirk? Yes, it was
Yeah.
quirk.
It's,
I'm getting nods from behind the camera.
Yeah, that's always a good sign. And there will be another code word showing up on the screen at some point during this episode. So if you're listening to the podcast episode and you want to get if you're listening to the podcast version and you want to get involved, you're trying to win $250 worth of Authentic Collectables purchasing power, then you'll just have to go check out the YouTube version, which will have it all there for you. All right, let's actually get into some model car stuff, which again, it's been kind of...
This is going to test the brain and test everything.
It was a bit harder to do when we were sitting at a Actually, we talked about a lot of model car stuff when we were at a model car festival.
Yeah, we did. We did. Funnily enough, we spoke a lot about that.
But once we went to Bathurst Week, we talked a bit more about Bathurst. Let's talk about cars. What do you got? New releases? What's out there?
Okay, so what we've actually released into the market, we have had so much. It's been, as you say, like
A long time
Well,
since we did this.
well over a month. I think we've had 2 containers since then. So excuse my brain if I don't cover everything off here, but we had a couple of Tickford cars.
Yep.
So we had Thomas Randall's retro Mustang from Sandown last year.
Yep.
That's probably our biggest release in terms of numbers in the last month or so.
I think you've got one less of those than you think because there's one
About
surely
to-
has to
about
end
to
up in
disappear.
my office. Yes.
Here we go. He hasn't done his walk around through my warehouse yet. Hasn't done that for a little while. It's the bonus of doing them off-site.
Yeah.
We also had Declan Fraser's tradie car from Darwin, the Indigenous livery. That was a pretty cool livery in the tradie version when tradie was still at
I wonder if that could be
Tickford.
good timing. I wonder if Declan could end up back in the news in the not too distant future.
Let's get to the news part
Okay,
before
all
you
right,
start.
all
Before you
right,
start
all
on that, 43rd collectors. We've also finally been able to definitely look after you guys. So we've had plenty coming through. We've had Penrite cars. We've had DJ's Gen 3 livery come through. Plenty of cars on that side of the fence. We've had the 23 championship winner. We've had the 24 Bathurst winner come through in Chevy land as well. So plenty coming through there. For BJR fans, we had our SpongeBob livery from the AGP last year, as well as the Middies and R&J car as well from last year come through. WAU fans on the Ford side, we'll probably get to the Supra side at some point during our chat again in the news.
Yep.
So the beginning of last year, they started with the white livery, which looked pretty cool. So we've released those ones. In 1/12th land, we've started to see our 1/12th Camaros come through as well. So they're the big boys. They're the really cool resin 1/12ths. So first
What's
one
one
off,
of those babies set you back, by the way? Just out of genuine interest.
I think they're about 850, 900, something like that. You've got me there.
All right, sorry. Silly me thinking the man who runs the business might know what his products cost.
No, funny that. Well, it's been so long since we've released a 1/12. So the 1/12 of the silver Chevy livery from when Gen 3 first started testing, that one's just arrived, and we'll have the 23 Champion and the 24 Bathurst Winner released in the not too distant future as well.
Great.
So yes, plenty coming through. As always, check our website, the now in stock section. Some of what I've just said has probably already come and gone.
Yep.
But definitely check out our now in stock section. You'll be able to see everything that we've got there as and when it gets released.
Right, let's move on to what's happening out there in the motorsport world, because as we touched on before, there's been a bit going on.
I was about to say,
since
isn't it easier to say what hasn't happened in motorsport in
even
the last
if you just
2
look
weeks?
at what we talked about, last week in Bathurst. It's not even like we haven't done one of these things for so long. There's so much to cover off. So much has happened in such a very, very short amount of time.
Shall we start with the actual race? Because
we can do, for sure.
I saw you briefly Sunday night.
Yep.
But we haven't actually spoken about what a crazy motor race, just a good old fashioned motor race,
Just a great car race. Yeah.
like it was amazing.
What do you? I mean, it's the question that everyone's asking: was it the best?
I don't know that it was the best, because again, everyone has a different definition of what the best is, right? Like I, as a sort of motor racing purist, I didn't think that 24 was that bad, because it's the idea of a couple of blokes going absolutely 10/10, not making a mistake. Like I can watch that. I can watch that for days as well.
Yeah, I do. I actually do agree with that. I guess that,
But does that make a spectacular motor race from a ratings point of view? No. Just add water, blow everything up, just make it crazy. That makes it good car race too.
Oh yeah. No, that was definitely a good car race. And it's I mean, I guess you also you had the winner not crossing the finish line first and that sort of stuff, but it was still right up there.
Oh yeah.
And the more I reflect on it, the more I'm like, man, that was a very, very good race. Like the fact that it was so that as that last lap started, you really had no idea. And Reynolds was still trying to get in there
on the last lap.
Like it's wild. It was wild.
I watched Supercars put up about an hour-long highlights package on YouTube.
Yeah.
That I watched in the plane on the way home on Monday night.
Yeah.
And I've since flicked over to Foxtel 506 about 5 times this week. And just wherever it's fallen, normally it's been falling towards the end of the race.
Yeah.
I just leave it on in the background because
it was exceptional.
Just so good.
Even if it wasn't the best ever, it was an exceptional
very,
Bathurst
very
1000. And when there's just so much on the line, you get car races like that, they happen.
Yeah.
But it's the Bathurst 1000.
It's the Bathurst 1000, right? Like that's the reason why it is what it is.
Yeah, it was a cracker. It really was a great race. And, I think it was already shaping up as a better Bathurst than we've seen in the Gen 3 era. I think, obviously there's doom and gloom about where the Triple Eight cars are just going to drive away from, and maybe they were going to, but even that first thing, there was a bit of intrigue about how it was all going to sort of play out. So
there was still more, just general craziness in that first dry stint than we had seen previously.
Yeah.
They really looked disconnected in the rear early. Cars all over the place. Garth and Craig trying to run into each other as well.
Yeah.
There was plenty of those little bushfires going on all through the joint.
Yeah.
And then it rained.
Yeah. Well,
and then they just went mad.
Stefan and I watched the first stint from the old control tower on top of the hill, which was awesome. Cool. And at one point, Cooper Murray nearly binned it massively, a few laps in when he ran wide at Skyline there. So much could have changed. And there's just, it was just incredible watching mostly co-drivers at that point.
And they seem to be pushing quite hard early.
Yeah, for sure.
Then there started to be that little hint of it was going to be a 6 1/4 fuel stint race. And then I think a few of them started to commit to the whole, let's fuel save and try and get rid of that extra quarter and try and pull that stop back out of it.
Yeah.
Obviously then not thinking that maybe the rain was actually going to come.
Yeah.
So there was a bit of that conservatism in the middle where you started to look at a few blokes and go, hang on, is this fuel save, or are we starting to see that T8 is just going to drive away?
Well, what was the thing I was sort of getting nervous about from that perspective was just how little the Triple Eight cars were actually doing in that first stint.
Yeah.
And you're like, there's something going on
Yeah.
here. Like, this is by design.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like Scott Pye should be able to catch Jordan Boys.
Yeah.
In a BJ. Like that's just something he should be able to do pretty. And he eventually did, but there was a long time when he was just sort of sitting there and you're like,
What?
"Wah."
And then all of a sudden Pye just started picking them off one at a time. Just
yeah.
one a lap. Just at the bottom of the hill, just one a lap.
Yeah.
Just ticking through and you're like, oh no.
Yeah. So when you see that sort of posturing, you're like, oh, there's a plan at work here. But anyway, look, it doesn't matter. We got an incredible car race. One of the absolute
Plan
best.
just went out the window.
Yeah. And it was just
About lap 65.
It was just a beauty. It was an absolute beauty. So, and it was kind of it was a fitting end to an explosive week.
Oh yeah.
Because the whole week was like we were at the track late
bit
every day, just dealing with these huge stories, and whether it was 3 Triple Eight cars, whether it was congratulations on a 3rd Triple Eight car for you as part of your deal, by the way.
Go have a chat to Jonesy about that in the coming days, I'm sure.
Yeah, you could have told me after you did your Triple Eight deal.
Yeah, no, that definitely was not in my Triple Eight deal.
And then there was obviously the whole undercurrent of this parody thing, which then was sort of building momentum and then really sort of went nuclear on the Saturday evening with the protest and all that sort of stuff. And
then just died in the arse.
Well, it's dead now anyway, because the whole, even if all that had been granted to Ford, the engine changes, it was all coming out on Monday.
And the curious part is, like, we've stopped talking about it because it all went away Sunday anyway with just how the race went.
Talking about it again in a very different way.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, like, there's a bit to unpack here, but effectively, before the ban, there were 2 aero packages on offer to Ford. And one was a low drag package.
Yep.
Which might have solved some straight line at Bathurst. But that's not the package that was chosen. The one that was chosen was the one that shifted the aero balance backwards.
Shifted the balance.
And that worked really well for those cars in 2023, particularly at the street circuit.
And will help at a wider variety of circuit than a low drag version. Yeah.
So the other one might have been more advantageous at Bathurst, but I guess then there was a push to try and get the engine thing that might have offset that. So there was the opportunity there for those 4 teams to have their cake and to be eating it as well. But then
they did anyway.
The notion of that being signed off by Chevy was fairly fanciful anyway.
Yeah, correct.
So you know, it probably, I mean, yes, they did get the Bathurst win, but it potentially could have cost them the Bathurst win if they hadn't have had the straight line to battle the Triple Eight cars.
I guess the thing is, there's now this actual hard evidence, assuming that the process was all done perfectly, and
the document does state there are some caveats. They didn't do the exhaust side of the engine. Although Supercars does feel that wouldn't have massively changed the study, like the inlet is what does determine, where the deficit comes from, and there was also a lifing issue with the engines as well. So you had 2.
They were both at kind of opposite ends of their lifing spectrum.
So what was it? It was used Fords and new Chevs.
So in theory, I would assume that it will happen again.
Yeah.
And more testing will be done at a later date. But, in theory, we go to Bathurst in 12 months' time and exactly the same issue on the engine side exists.
If there will be, what will happen now is there will be more testing. Now, this was an emergency measure, allowing the teams to go from a 50 mil to a 51 mil, potentially allowing the teams to go from a 50 mil to a 51 mil restrictor. For that race was a temporary measure.
Yep.
That is not something Supercars is willing to entertain next year.
Okay.
If Ford wants to have those changes in that car, they have to find a way to make that engine work with a 51 mil restrictor at every race.
Okay.
Because the issue is that this is an altitude issue.
Yes.
And our next race is literally at sea level.
Correct.
So
I can't imagine Sandown is that high off the ground
there
either.
are some very, very interesting comments coming out of the Triple Eight camp between Will Brown and Scott Pye during the week about the fact they still don't actually think that it is a motor issue, and there's evidence to support that because this is something that we see in Darwin, for example, and Darwin is at sea level, so it's just a complicated science, but there is undeniably now a document that does state that there is a deficit at that altitude
of some description.
So it is something that there'll either be more testing or there'll be a process gone through to how do we get to a situation where we can make this engine work at that altitude, but it will have to be a solution that also works at all the other altitudes because this one-off engine spec thing was an emergency solution, and it's, from my understanding, not something that Supercars is willing
It's off the table.
Is willing to entertain next year. It's either find a way to make it work everywhere, or let's find a way to make it work everywhere, or let's not have this conversation again.
And fair enough.
Yeah.
The one of the more interesting moments of the race, I thought, was towards the end there when Matt and Cooper were side by side and Golding was coming up behind them down Conrod.
Yeah.
And he just arrived at absolute warp speed.
Yeah.
And now I know that was a Camaro and a Mustang and everything else, but just the way he just closed in just shows you what.
You've also got to remember is that this is not not every Camaro was just burning past Mustangs all the time.
No.
The issue was fairly
and
focused.
And that will change again
fairly
next year
focused
with the mix.
The focus was largely on 2 Camaros in that field.
Yes.
And those Camaros will be Mustangs next year.
Yes.
So you're solving the problem to a large extent.
Yeah.
By just taking 2 cars out of the mix. That's the reality of that scenario as well. Because
then you're massively complicating it further by putting 5 Toyotas in there.
Yep.
And quite how we manage all of that will be
another
P question for round 1 next year.
Another fun thing to deal with next year. So we will definitely be having another parody debacle at Bathurst. That much I can assure you.
No doubt.
Promise you that will be the case.
So speaking of 5 Toyotas, that was 6 Toyotas, that is now in theory 5 Toyotas.
Yeah.
How good did that thing sound?
Yes. Sounds good.
That sounded really nice.
Yep. It's nice to have those little differences.
Yeah. It's back to that, when we had the Mercs and the Volvos and things, just having something that sounds a little bit different cut through.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a good thing. It's good to see that car in action.
And having now seen it in a slightly different colour, not that everyone's seen it in a slightly different colour, but I know you and I have. Kind of looks cool.
Yep.
Kind of looks cool too.
Yeah. Looks like a GT3 car.
Does look like a GT3 car.
That's what I'll tell you.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, it depends if you're racing a car that doesn't look like a GT3 car or what your thoughts on that might be. But it was cool to have that car out there.
Banging around. Do we know if, because I never inquired on the weekend, was it purely a show it off to the general public kind of PR exercise? Or were supercars actually throwing a few sensors at it? And
I think it's less about that and it's more about just actual almost reliability testing. So I think the plan is that it'll go to every track from now on and do these demonstration runs because they want to go and hammer it over the curbs at the Gold Coast and do the sort of things that you can't just simulate at Winton over and over again.
Yeah, okay.
You can drive around Winton all you like, but this is a chance to go on these tracks. And obviously they're not going to get granted a full testing program.
No.
To go, and you can't go and test at the Gold Coast.
And I mean, they did it with the Mustang and the Camaro. Like that was banging around for
That's
12
right.
months.
And that was purely about going to these tracks and just driving it around. So I don't think we're not going to see performance testing as such, but it's reliability testing. What happened to this thing? And I think the general
makes a bit of sense.
It's from what I understand and having a bit of a chat with Carl Foe about it, like the general theory is that you just drive until it breaks.
Yeah.
And then work out why it broke and fix that and go, cool, now we're ready to go car racing. So it's a massive oversimplification, but I don't think they feel they've done their job until it stops at some point.
And it seems to have been fairly reliable so far.
Yeah. But that's what it's about, getting it on these tracks because you don't know what it's going to do when it smacks these street circuit curbs and that sort of stuff until you go smack a few of them.
Yep. No, makes a bit of sense.
Anyway,
so what else
5 Toyotas is because there's going to be 11 Mustangs. Is that right? Was that
You're doing the math.
11. Yeah.
The pendulum has swung.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be one less Toyota and one more Mustang than we had been thinking before the start of last week.
Is there though? Or are we going to see some magical change in Recland to kind of either Brad maybe back up to 4 somehow, 888 up to 4 somehow?
I honestly don't know.
There's got to be a lot of magic happening to
stories about that, but at the end of the day, Supercars really wanted us 24 cars.
Yep. And this was the thing.
The whole
for
freighting
shipping,
thing is an issue because we're obviously heading overseas for longer than ever. Even though it's still only one trip there and back, but all that sort of stuff. So I don't know about that, but I honestly don't know. I'm not ruling anything out, but we will have at least 3 AAA cars on the grid.
Yep.
That's one thing we know. That was a handy little story that we broke on Speedcafe.
And at least 3 BJR cars.
Yeah, well, exactly. Exactly. So, yeah, Andy Jones has left the, could be an interesting Christmas lunch. Could be some turkey drumsticks flying
across the room.
Flying across the table. No, I'm sure they're all, adult
Business is
professionals that can.
Business is business, isn't it? That's how
yeah,
it works.
Yep. It's certainly interesting. I wonder how Jackson Evans feels. You think, man, I wish I'd found a way to get a deal done and got a AAA car this year. But I think there was sort of some mechanisms that in play as part of this whole thing that obviously prevented him continuing as part of that program, unfortunately.
Well, and I guess the one thing about all the announcement that's happened today, and that time codes us, we're Friday afternoon when we're recording this. You probably won't see it until.
That's why we're having a beer.
Yes, probably won't see this till Monday or Tuesday.
But we're not having some sort of Monday morning
not quite.
On session.
Not quite. Is they've announced that, or yesterday they announced that they were out of Brad's. Today they've announced that they're at 888, but there's really been no discussion of who might be in that car.
There's a decision on the driver.
Rumors were wild.
There's lots of wild rumors. There is a decision on who's in that car.
We just don't know who it is.
He just doesn't want to tell us yet.
Yeah.
But there is a driver locked into that seat.
Yeah.
And I believe that was, I spoke to Andy when the Jackson thing was announced, and I left that conversation. It was like a backgrounding conversation, not an on the record conversation, but I left that conversation with full confidence that they knew exactly who was in the car.
You would,
and just disappointed that I didn't know who was in the car.
Yeah. You would assume that everything would be all tucked away.
Yes. So, I think someone will be in there, and there's names. The Roland Gray getting thrown around, and Jackson Walls getting thrown around.
The wildest one was the Chaz one.
Yeah, Chaz Mostert. Mark Winterbottom said it in the press conference on Sunday night.
Yeah.
Was it Sunday night? No, it was on Saturday.
Yeah. Sadly, Frosty didn't make the.
Yeah, that's right.
Chaz wasn't. No, neither did Chaz.
Wasn't I wasn't even at the press conference on Sunday night, so that's, if I remember it definitely wasn't Sunday night. But so Chaz has been linked to it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when you're talking about a 888 car, all of this stuff, it might sound crazy, right? Like Chaz is locked in, he's got a deal, he's got all this stuff, he's built this team. But we're talking about a 888 car.
Yeah.
And that's what always just changes those conversations a little bit, because no matter what you're doing, if you're not in a 888 car, you're not in a 888 car.
Yeah,
and
correct.
Drivers will sometimes go to extraordinary lengths to do that.
Yep.
I'm not suggesting anything with that. But what I'm saying is that's why you do entertain some of the more wilder theories when they get thrown to you as a journalist, because you're like, man, race drivers love really fast race cars.
Yep. Just as there's all of this McLaren contract, Polo stuff going on in the background as well.
Yeah.
Just to prove that contracts are
just
worth a little bit until they're worth absolutely nothing.
Yeah, correct. So it's but again, I'm not insinuating anything.
No.
And
we'll leave that to Frosty.
Yeah.
to throw that around.
Exactly. But strange things do happen in this sport. But if I were a betting man, I would probably as I sit here right now, and I could look at my phone when we have a break before the next segment, and it could be a totally different.
Yeah, correct.
I could literally in 5 minutes have a very different take on this, but I wouldn't be betting on that right at this moment.
No.
So anyway, it was it's interesting news.
Did you have RD at Premiere on your bingo sheet for the beginning of the year?
Honestly, yes. Like, it's kind of been swirling around for a while. Yeah, so it's not overly surprising. It was whether he wanted to take the leap and actually do it, as opposed to just sort of advising the team. So yes, that's not massively surprising news.
And it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think having RD back in the sport, like, he's certainly a polarizing character.
Yeah.
But and obviously, through all of his T8 era, I really had nothing to do with that business in any way, shape, or form. So he was the devil incarnate, just because he was over there, not over here. But it's definitely, many people would argue the sport is better having him in it than not.
Yeah, and he's never been that far away from it.
No.
Let's be honest.
No,
He can talk about how retired he was.
But he just
and
didn't have
this and that,
didn't have the title on the end of his business card.
He's got the title. He's back. He's going up against Triple Eight.
Which is just the curious thing. Like, you never thought that had happened.
No, not at all. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
You know, and I think, if he can provide the direction that team needs, then their potential is definitely there.
It's funny how there's like so many parallels going on at the moment, sort of between supercars and F1. Like, because there's the Christian thing, right? In F1, like, could he be the savior of a team just by walking in because of the history and was it RD at Triple Eight that made all the difference? There are a lot of T8 people that make T8 a really strong business. Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, Roland has been quite heavily involved in that team for a year now. Yes. And to be fair, they're having a worse year this year than they had last year. Yeah. They've actually gone backwards, which is why we are going to see sweeping changes to their driver lineup and all that sort of stuff. So, which again, after we're talking about podiums at Bathurst. Yeah, well, but there's no silver bullet to these things. So I don't think Roland walks in the same way that I don't think Christian would walk in and let's say Jaden Ojeda and Declan Fraser, for instance, lock out the front row at Sydney Motorsport Park next year. So maybe they do. But well. He's a better engineer than we thought. Then. That would be very impressive. So I don't know. There's a silver bullet here, but obviously, they've had Roland, I think, observing what's going on and for a long time, and can now say, right, here's how we should be doing things. And that's often just what these teams need. Someone to say, well, here's, if you can just tidy things up, like if you're not losing ground every time the car rolls into the pits because your process is not right, or you're making poor strategy decisions, or all those sorts of things, like those little processes can help you just convert, or free up the brain space to actually go after the car speed and this sort of stuff. And it's all that sort of stuff. So it'll be interesting to see, how it plays out. Well, and you'll be on the Gold Coast next weekend to find out how some of all of this plays out. I dare say by the time this episode goes live, I will be in Queensland because I'm on a red-eye flight on Sunday night. So I dare say I will be on a different time zone again. Just as I got back to AWST, I'm going to go and just spray it on something completely different. At least Queensland doesn't have daylight saving. It's only 2 hours, not 3. Third hour does. Oh, man, it knocks you around. Knocks you around. Ah, dear. Anyway, enough of that. Let's move on. So, questions. And the first question, as I believe most of them are, as per usual, is for you, William. This is from Dan Southey. We need to get some more for Andrew. Could we get some more from Andrew? To be honest, I'm quite happy. Just asking some questions, drinking my little beer. This will do me for a Friday afternoon after a long week. Don't you worry. Will Authentic Collectables ever release to scale accessories to go with the cars, such as a Boost Mobile pole banner, first, second, third boards, wheel trolleys, pit booms and trophies, all that sort of stuff? Now, I've seen dogs that come in ranges. Yep. I did just see on our screen here, I assume was also, a little Pertec Victory Lane board. Benny's put it here somewhere. Oh, there it is. There it is. I can see it. Ah. There you go. Yep. So this is a thing that's that you do that you do. Yes. Yeah. So it's a little dependent. We sometimes we pair it with products, and then sometimes we offer them like wheels and things. We offer as accessories. So it might be one of those things that, and the trophies too, the Bathurst Winner Trophy and the Championship Winner Trophy. We've done. Do you go and measure these and make sure they are to scale? Yeah. No, that's legit. That is legit. Impressive. Slightly different in the way because of the way we've had to manufacture it. The base is slightly different, but no, other than that, it's true to scale. Beautiful. So yeah, it's one of those things that sometimes they're just with the product, sometimes they're separate to the product. I get what Paul's asking is maybe we should be just doing these so that you can put them with any winner. Yep. So that's just something we'll have to put some thought into. Yep. But yeah. I like doing all the accessory stuff. Yeah, it's cool. Just different. Yep, for sure. Well, you actually did the winning check for Kyle Larson's high limit as well. It's over there with the number one board as well. So yeah, it's all that sort of stuff that we kind of just like to add on and kind of value add to that product or that winner or whatever. Which is why, as I say, Bathurst Winner comes with the trophy normally and what have you. So yeah, just something a bit different. Makes sense to me. Something a bit different. Right, question for you. After you said there's no questions for you. From Paul Winter, Bathurst is the only track that doesn't allow a victory lap for the winner. This was not always the case. Why has it changed? Surely it's not to get the drivers back to the victory lane quicker for TV purposes.
It probably is because of that, to be perfectly
Well, yeah, but this year they seem to hold them. They held them back
I wasn't
anyway,
actually watching. I was on paddock roaming duties post-race. Yes. Well, it was quite late.
It was efficient.
It was quite late.
It was very
There's
late.
the beauty. We have quite a big team there, and we do split that up. And it is a thing as at the end of a race, generally between the track teams, someone will polish up the race report.
You
Stay for the press conference, and someone will hit the paddock and go and chase up the storylines out there.
You needed to run down to DJR with a big stick and stop everyone from trying to pinch things from inside the garage because they couldn't pull the door down.
Oh, really?
TV had put something on the pit boom or something, and so they couldn't actually get the door down.
Oh.
So they were just standing there. Get away, get away.
Bashing people
Yeah,
away.
yeah. So you could have been in that.
Yep. No, I didn't see that. This is one of the unseen moments of the Bathurst 1000.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, look, I don't actually know the answer to that, to be perfectly honest. But I would imagine it because it would be a long victory lap, but it would be kind of cool as well.
Well, the COVID year when they let Scott just go up and do a big burnout across the top, like that was cool.
Well, even Shane came down Conrad then that last Holden year, and he picked up that flag.
That was COVID year too, wasn't it?
A COVID year, yeah.
Yeah,
That was 2022?
Yes.
Or 2020? Yes. No, last Holden.
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, no, it was last Holden.
They
Yeah,
all
because
merged together.
Scott was 2019.
20, yeah. No, 20 was that burnout year
Right. Okay.
with Slady.
Yes. That wasn't a victory burnout.
Not of the race. He won the championship because the championship was at Bathurst.
You can see where we're becoming quite confused
Man.
here.
Yeah. Yeah.
can
No,
see where
19
it's
was the
coming
win, and he did not do the victory lap. He
Yeah.
just drove straight into the back of pit lane like they do.
All right. I'm going to find out the proper answer for this, and we'll
We'll come back. We'll circle back.
Yeah.
We'll circle back.
all right, another question for Will. And again, we're talking about miniature things of things that aren't racing cars. This is from Matthew Davis. Is the 2025
I just read the question.
number 25 Chaz Monster Bathurst car going to come with a mini carton of Great Northern?
That'd be cool, wouldn't it? I'm not sure we will make Chaz's.
Did you
car.
actually see that when it was happening? Because I did bring this
Yes.
up on the Full Credit to the Noise podcast that I do as well. But in the frame, our good mutual friend Jared from Reckless Brewing happened to just be at that
Yep.
party,
Yep.
and I was like, Jared,
he didn't
brother.
get in there.
get a can of Reckless in this bloke's hand.
No, it was a can
Did you
of
see it? He was
Northern.
standing right there. I was like, no, Jared, it's holding a can of Great Northern.
The
Fix
funny,
this.
we chatted about Jonesy before as a part of the SCT thing and what
Yep.
have you. Do you remember in 2007, I want to say, Jonesy tried to burn a BOC car to the ground at exactly that spot.
Oh, right.
This will test you because I was
Yeah.
obviously working for the team at the time.
Yeah.
And
I was
Jonesy
there. I was definitely there.
Jonesy sat in the crowd and had a beer.
Yep.
And didn't quite get the same same reaction as poor Chazzy, where it seemed like every camera phone in the world was pointed at poor Chazzy as he's just trying to.
Yeah, the world
have
has
a beer.
moved on even from 2007, to be honest. But
massive.
but I don't. I remember. Didn't Andy bind one late at the Great as well one year? What, were you still working for the team there?
No.
Okay. Maybe
No,
I'm
no,
just,
no.
Maybe I'm just like
No,
savagely just like tearing Andy up. For
no,
absolutely
and we
reason.
shouldn't do that.
And
No,
I've got
he
it
had
completely
we had an airbox fire in it, but it absolutely took hold.
Yep.
And so flames coming out of absolutely everywhere.
Yep.
Which, when you don't have spare cars like we didn't back then, trying to turn that around for Gold Coast was a bit of a challenge.
It's brutal on those teams anyway. And to be honest, I feel the turnaround having to come back here to the West and then go, oh yeah, Sunday night flight. I only got back here Tuesday.
Yeah, you got back Tuesday and you're out on Sunday.
But those guys, I think that for a lot of the Melbourne teams, it was like a 4-day turnaround.
Yeah. Because it's like Gold Coast in itself is such a big meeting.
Yeah.
Like it's not like you're going to Winton or you're coming here or whatever. It's just
No, it's
a
another
quick
long,
3-day race
long week.
meeting.
That's why I'm on a Sunday night flight. Like it is it's a week.
Yeah.
It's a week event.
Yeah.
Like that's really what it is. So you do 2 of them back to back, and it's,
And now it's finals as well, and so that just adds another layer.
oh, how good! I can't wait for finals.
Yeah,
I'm actually very
I'm
excited
all in
about
on
it.
finals now too.
All right, here's another question for you. This is from Andrew Reed. Will you guys be releasing previous Red Bull Holden Racing team liveries. I assume that's not something you can do.
No, we can.
Oh,
we can, but there's a huge but on it. A lot of them have been done and some of them have now been done twice.
Yeah.
So I've not done this deal with 888 on the basis that I'm going to go back and do the back catalogue. Like the deal is very much on the basis that we're doing Mustangs primarily from the 1st of the 1st next year. We will look obviously at hoovering up some rats and mice that may not have been done. And that is probably more just in some other scales that haven't been done as opposed to just going and doing 18th after 18th after 18th after 18th. Because that's not how we look at our industry and how we like to play the game. But definitely, if there's something around and if you've got any ideas of models that haven't been made that you would like to see made, I am all ears as ever. But definitely if you just turn around and go, oh, well, we're just going to do another Bathurst winner that's already been done twice or something, no, that's pointless.
Right, Ryan Fitzpatrick asks, with you having the contract with every team in Supercars in 2026, will the price for the model cars increase?
Hell yes. No.
Yeah, ramp it up.
Monopoly, baby. No. If we put up prices, it's purely because there has been a reason why we have to. Certainly the fact that we've got everyone, that doesn't change it.
Yeah, because people are still collecting what they collect.
Yeah, correct.
Like it's not about
no. And so that's the thing.
People collect the cars that they want to collect.
If you're a 888 collector, well, welcome to Authentic.
Yeah.
Now, but if you're a DJ collector, well, you've been buying my stuff for a very long time anyway.
Yeah.
And the crossover's not necessarily there in terms of, you're not buying my product because it's an authentic model. You're buying it because
that's what you collect.
Driver, team, etc. So no, as I say, the only reason that we'd be whacking the price up is because I've either had an increase from China or the dollar does something dumb or
I've literally stolen so much
everything out of my warehouse. You're
like, I need to make these losses back somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Simon Bishop says, has Authentic considered doing a triple set of Bathurst podium finishes like unnamed competitors used to? Should be easier to do now that you have the license to do all of the teams.
And ironically,
you could have done that
this year's we could do and can do, and it doesn't require everyone because we already had all three. So it's definitely something that we're considering. Obviously at the moment it's just get the Bathurst winner itself done,
and they'd be 43rd things, right? Like your little boxes, your box.
Yeah, because doing them in 1/18 that would just be prohibitive.
You'd need a massive shelf to put the whole diorama in.
Correct. Yeah. But doing the podium in 43rd would be kind of cool. Obviously Bathurst winner, you're going to end up being able to get that individually anyway, but it might be that the only way you get
all dirty versions because it was wet.
Yeah, could do dirty versions. I photographed Matt's car after the race. Surprisingly not particularly dirty, but it had a lot of damage on it. Yeah. So it's not like the car in Reynolds' car in 17 was just filthy.
Yeah.
But
your dirty version was very dirty.
Very dirty. As well. But Matt's car was pretty clean.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, it's just all the gold stripe around the front bar and the side skirts and everything else.
Yep,
all of that had been removed by various wheels and all sorts of other stuff as the race had gone on. Obviously,
yeah. Well, by the time I saw it quite late on Sunday evening, it was getting torn to shreds to go through the technical inspection.
Yeah,
process.
Well, I photographed as it was going through scrutineering.
Yeah,
which is why I could only photograph the outside. I couldn't photograph the inside because you're not allowed to touch it. But
it all gets,
I got as close as I could.
It all gets to the motor will be out of that thing, and it all happens.
Already well and truly apart.
Here's a question from Scotty Evans. Recently, I took a trip to the WA Motor Museum, and my jaw dropped at their diecast collection. 15,000 diecast road cars and race cars. But I did notice a lack of authentic collectibles on display. Is there a possibility of loaning or donating an authentic display for everyone to see when they visit? This does sound like a failing on your behalf to not have our local museum.
Well, a lot of like I know Bev from Bianti, as in Bev used to own Bianti. She still had quite a lot of the collection her collection when it was sold, when the business was sold.
Yep.
She kept a lot of the old cars. So I know that a lot of that stuff that's there is hers. So they've got a remarkable display that people have donated over time. We've been up there a few times and had a bit of a gander and a look and sort of thought about what we might be able to do with them. But we may also try and do our own thing as well.
The Authentic Collectables Museum.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Wow.
So it might be a few years down the track, but
sounds fun.
But yeah, there's
the
definitely
display
that option.
I would be setting up at the museum if I were you would be one in the gift shop, which has little price
tags
on everything.
They're the ones I like. They're the displays I like.
That would be a good display. I reckon.
And like there's a Bathurst Winners display at the museum at Bathurst as well. So we always make sure that if there's a winner that gets donated to there, and Brad gets one, and so yeah, there's museums that we kind of do try and look after in that respect. But yeah, the sort of the ones up at Whiteman Park, that's just an everything, dumping everything. Have you not?
No.
Oh, it's cool.
Should probably go check it out.
Yeah, no, it's cool. In fact, maybe we should do one of these up there one day.
That's a good idea.
And go for a bit of a wander through and talk nonsense, because there's some pretty cool bits of kit in there.
Yep.
And as I say, on the diecast side, there is all sorts of things.
I'm still recovering from those hotel rooms in Caroline Springs, to be honest. Like I don't know if I can see that many model cars in one place just yet. I think I need a little bit longer
next year.
Let my brain recover from quite overwhelming scenes.
Righto, next question's for you.
Great.
From Innes Price. Thoughts on the lucky dog rule? Oh boy, I bet you've got an opinion on this. Essentially, Andre was knocked out of the finals by a car that was given back multiple laps because of this rule. And it was with like four corners to go.
Yeah, I'll never be a supporter of the lucky dog rule.
Didn't think you would.
I just won't. Like it's to coin a term that my colleague and good friend Stefan loves. It's socialist motor racing.
Yeah.
And I am I'm a big fan of things like proper safety cars and that do come along and add these sort of additional factors to a race. But to me, that's always just a step slightly too far. Like staying on the lead lap is a fundamental part of trying to win the Bathurst 1000.
Yeah, and sometimes it doesn't play and you lose your lap, and people have got their lap back easy enough. But I think you should be doing it on your strategy play. Yeah. Of the team requiring you, to maybe take a hit, not pit or something, so that you can get the lap back and then have to pit later.
No,
that's
issue
a
with that.
strategy.
It shouldn't be once you're off the lead lap you can't win the race.
Yeah,
but you shouldn't be just giving that lap back because there's a safety car.
Yeah, particularly in that last period where there was like five safety cars and everyone was getting laps back left, right, and centre.
Yeah, so no, I'll never be friends with the lucky dog. It doesn't.
No, and yes, you're right. Andre should feel ripped.
All right, here is a question for both of us. Nate Simpkin, if you had to pick a crashed supercar from Bathurst to make, what would it be? A crashed one. What would a crash? That's a great
As in
question.
from this year?
Yeah, that's
because man, there was a few cars that got shunted this year.
Poor Tony D.
Yeah,
that was sad.
That wasn't great.
Sad. A great man.
Yeah, that's really hard.
Yeah.
Like there's been some cool dioramas and things made over the years.
Fabian car.
The Fabian car.
That was at the Diecast Expo, that one was
correct.
There, and that is absolutely spectacular.
And that same, and I've forgotten your name, I apologise, has done DJ's 83 tree car as well, like with a helicopter in the diorama and everything.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's really cool. So to be able to do some of that sort of stuff would be pretty cool.
Yeah, because I don't really have one that jumps out at me that I go, that's the crashed Bathurst sort of car.
And funnily enough, teams are probably not that kind of cool with us doing damaged cars.
Yeah,
like particularly damaged and out of the race.
Even
like
sponsors with just a crumpled up bit of
they're not
tin.
Not a massive fan, funnily enough.
Do understand that. All right,
might be more a code 3 thing.
Yeah,
not something we can officially do.
And I tell you what, if you spend $300 on a model and take to it with with a
That's
hammer.
entirely up to you.
You're a braver man than I.
I'll sell you two.
Christopher Ward asked, with Rylan Gray and Lockie Dalton excelling in Super 2, what are the chances of their wild card and Super 2 cars being made? Can you still bash out a
Absolutely, I can still do a
Gen 2
car.
Mustang?
Yeah, it's sound check. It's definitely something we've been thinking about.
Yep.
That Logitech car does look pretty good. It comes down to numbers at the end of the day, whether I think the car looks good or not, and whether the kid's quick or not.
With money in their pockets that want to buy these things
Actually
to want
commit
to
them.
Yeah.
So definitely, the wild card cars, Super 2 cars, like there's plenty of cars every year that are around that could be made, that potentially don't get made.
Yep.
One of those things. But yeah, they're on the list. It's just whether they actually see the light of day.
Yep. All right. Cool. Well, let's finish up with the auctions you've got going on at the moment. This is your sort of one-off, not one-offy stuff, but sort of weird sort of stuff you got laying around.
Yeah. So obviously, again, because we've been a bit busy and all over the place, we've kind of neglected our auctions for a little bit. So we've got 4.
Ooh.
Yeah, let's roll 4 out. So all with kind of a bit of a theme of the current kind of what's going on kind of half. So we've got the 2017 season livery for Reynolds.
Yep.
In the Penrite livery. So Reynolds on the podium, Penrite get the win.
Yep.
That's kind of the tenuous link there.
Gotcha.
We've got...
Not quite the purple people eater that he's driving now, but
anyway,
whatever.
We've got Marcus Ambrose and Scott Pye's Xbox Falcon from the Gold Coast. So linking into next weekend.
Yep.
We've got a HRT car. We've got the Luffy Tander 14 HRT car from Bathurst. So coming off Bathurst. Makes a bit of sense.
Yep.
And WAU's, our prototype, WAU shifting to Ford. Which is reasonably topical.
550.
The 550, not the 650, which is, reasonably topical given that lasted all of them in 3.5 minutes before the Toyota shift. So
and you get to tool up a whole new car.
Yay, how exciting.
Although probably not quite as big a sort of rapid fire switch as having to do 550 to 650.
650 as well as doing the Camaro at the same time. And that was a bit of a ball ache. So these are all our prototypes. So they're our prototype samples. So they're not always 100% perfect. Some of them, the HRT cars may be a slightly different red to what it should have been, and what have you. So they're all a little bit different. They're all a little bit special, and they're all out of our archive. So up for auction. Check out our current auctions tab on our website, and go and place a bid for these. We haven't set the final end date on these, but I imagine it's about a fortnight away. So get onto our website and have a bit of a gander.
What a great plan. Well, that will do us. It was a bit of a marathon, but again, we hadn't done this for a while. So
it wasn't quite the 7 hours of Bathurst.
No, but it was important. We really sort of got stuck in and got some new releases and announcements and everything and all that sort of stuff out of the way.
Generally clean up everything we've been doing for the last couple of months.
Yeah, so good to see you. Good luck next weekend.
Thank you.
In the Formula Ford. I will not be there, so you have no one to run into you on the cool-down lap or anything like that.
Nor anyone hopefully to try and run into, which we've been trying to do lately as well.
Because I'll be on the Gold Coast. Hanging out there, so hope that all goes well. And
last round of the championship, so yeah, got some positions to make up while you're not there.
Go for it, mate. You can have. If I was in the fight for it, I might not be on the Gold Coast, but I'm definitely not. So cool. We'll be back at some point in the not too distant future. We definitely won't leave it quite as long to do another studio role models. So yeah, we'll be back soon with another one.
Cheers, guys.